Everybody, Christopher Titus. I'm bringing my new show, Doomed to Repeat, January 18th, the City Winery in New York, and then January 19th in Boston at the Wilbur Theater. Here's what I found out with this new show. I did a genetic test. I didn't have to do a genetic test. There's no waitress that showed up with a baby with a giant skull and Gary Busey teeth. I just got a genetic test. Found out that my family started the Massachusetts colony in 1835. So all you people in Boston, part of that attitude you guys have is my family's fault. You are welcome. I'll see you guys this weekend. Can't believe it. Hate doing these fucking promos. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon update. Well, we are only 8 days into 2025, and the doomsday clock is now being wound and reset by the most dangerous, dumbest douchebag we have ever had as president. I mean, since the last time he was president. After he ran on bringing down prices...
Very simple word, groceries.
Happy, happy, dance, dance. When we learn something new, we do the happy dance, dance.
He said he couldn't bring down prices.
It's hard to bring things down once they're up, Trump says. You know, it's very hard.
He said he would end the war in Ukraine on day one.
And we're going to get that war ended as president-elect. In other words, before I even take over the White House.
He's kind of gotten very quiet about that. So in 12 days, guys, the war in Ukraine is over. Oh, joy. Right. The guy that couldn't sell steak, water, or vodka is going to stop the Russian war machine. Cool. When asked if he would promise to not use military force to take over Greenland...
He didn't rule out military coercion.
Well, we need Greenland for national security.
What the fuck? And the Panama Canal...
The Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. China.
Again, what the fuck? He said he could not rule it out. He's going to use military force over a place that exports salmon and halibut, and on another country that runs an aquatic toll road. He also wants to acquire Canada.
Okay, go away. Yeah, we'll be right here. Go away. In fact, we'll just whistle. Zoom off.
Acquire Canada? What the fuck? First of all, Canada's not a bed-bug-infested resort you can just buy. And frankly, if Trump took Canada, I can't believe that sentence was even said out loud, Trump would bankrupt Canada in a year after its governor, Don Jr., tried to snort Whistler Ski Resort. After Trump ran up $8 trillion in debt last time, Canada should acquire us, and we could get a piece of all those sweet maple syrup billions. Hell yeah. And Melania could be with her true love. Because he has time off now.
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister.
Regarding Greenland, he wants to take Greenland, which is another sentence I can't believe I'm saying. Why? Are we low on Dungeness crab? Greenland's biggest export is fish. Greenland's main export partners are Denmark, China, the United Kingdom, Japan, and Taipei. Greenland's economy is also dependent on the Danish government, which Trump says...
People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it.
The Danish government responded with this. This burnt umber anal polyp is going to start a world war over Atlantic salmon. And regarding the Panama Canal, built in 1914 by Teddy Roosevelt, I mean, he didn't work on it, but he approved it. So we could get stuff cheaply and fast from around the world. You know, we used to own the Panama Canal. We gave it back in 1999, and we had it for 85 years, and we still use it. So does China.
China.
Now, Trump wants to take it back, possibly with force. Cool. War with China and invading Panama again. That went so well last time. I'm sure that'll be awesome. You hear that? That's the doomsday clock. And now the Gulf of Mexico. Trump wants to name it the Gulf of America. How small is this guy's mushroom? Besides, we already used the Gulf of America to describe the space between his ears. Hey, yo! Ha ha!
Very, very large brain.
And for the distance Melania stays away from his hamburger-smelling torso. Sweet Potato Hitler also said, if the Israeli hostages aren't released...
all hell will break out in the Middle East.
First of all, too late. Hell has been raging in the Middle East for 1,200 years before Christ. And then Trump claimed the insurrection, which he was impeached for, wasn't an insurrection.
You know, there was never charges of insurrection or anything like that. But if there were, this would be the only insurrection in history where people went in as insurrectionists with not one gun.
I could go on, and I will next week and for the next 4 years, unless I fall out of a window accidentally. Because every sentence this man says is a lie. And that's according to CNN, who fact-checked every bullshit thing he said in this speech. And the saddest part is his lying fucking worked. I really want to thank the Democrats for keeping their composure and playing by the rules while these corrupt criminals did what they wanted, how they wanted. And a special thanks to Merrick Garland for catching up on his sleep for the last 4 years.
You know what? Cheaters never win.
I'll see you guys all on the 21st, and we'll celebrate the end of the Ukraine war. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. God damn! It started all over again. It feels like we were just here. Everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. Hi, how are you? With me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Hylind.
There could be only one.
Oh, I guess we're getting a dictator. Might as well start doing voices. We last night, the LA was on fire.
Today, LA.
And today and today, yesterday and today, LA's on fire. It's all a lot on fire. We have issues now, and so LA. We drove today. And if you look over in front of us, massive plume of smoke.
Yep.
Then I got on the 170 to come up here, and I look over this way, massive plume of smoke. And then over the massive, we are so. I've never seen winds or felt winds like we had yesterday. Yeah, how was it for you yesterday when you walked out? You started saying it was crazy.
It was crazy. That's why I said, "Can you hear that?" I went outside because one of our gates was banging.
Yep.
And things were hitting the house, and that's when I went outside and started gathering things and locking them away. Yep. And I mean, it was crazy. It picked up our patio chairs and threw them.
Which are made out of wrought iron metal.
Yeah, it tipped our patio heater over and bent the metal in half. I mean, it was.
These are white lady sentences. Our
patio
heater.
I said patio chairs and patio heaters.
The jacuzzi lifted and splashed on me.
You would not believe.
No, we don't have an above ground jacuzzi.
We're above ground.
All right, here's how. So if we're gonna leave the house, we love our house. We love our house. We love our bed. Ray's really created an oasis inside our home. And so we were going to leave last night because, the fire, if you guys look at, Ray kept sending me this thing. We're showing the edge of the fire coming over the hill towards us.
Yeah.
But it was just evacuation area. The fire was way far away, but the evacuation area was up there.
Line.
And she had all her relatives get out of that. They were like screaming. They're watching it on TV, and the news always makes it look like Armageddon, but it was as close to Armageddon, I think, as I've seen. And I've been here since '80.
No, yeah. When I drove in today, it looked like I was driving into Mars. Like the sky was red.
Yeah, it's odd.
Just getting like kind of over the hill, which is like lucky for us. We're kind of getting blocked by the geography. Yeah. So
we got lucky on the hill where we are. We kind of got lucky.
But the wind last night.
So far,
yeah.
So far.
It felt like it's usually like one or two people are trying to break into my place. It was like an army of every window and door.
So here's
Shadows is gone. Did
I
you
know.
Hear that?
And the Real Inn.
I know.
The Real Inn and the Thai place
forever.
next door. They're gone. Is that one gone too?
They haven't said it's burned to the ground, but it was burned. I know people got injured in Dukes.
So super white sentence. We are leaving.
Oh my God. I love that you just kept building up
we've packed
to insult me.
It was me.
It's the only thing
I'm
you
on
can't
the phone.
distract
No,
from.
I'm saying me. We both we live a different life.
Oh, I said something.
So
too.
we call, there's a place called Bacara that we go. It's a Ritz-Carlton property that we go vacation at. Like we go, like when we want to treat ourselves, we go there. So
it was our first date weekend.
So I go to Ray. I go. Well, we don't have to evacuate. Call the Ritz-Carlton in Santa Barbara, see if they got any rooms. And then I'm on the phone with them, and the lady goes, "We don't have any rooms. We have one room. It's 2 queens. And I go, so you have nothing with an ocean view?
He said that. I heard him say that.
There are no more ocean views. It's burned.
So no, it's only ocean view now. Nothing's there.
I couldn't believe you said that.
I know I got mocked horribly.
But
Such a weenie.
when the Palisades burned down, the Ritz-Carlton in Santa Barbara is sold out for the night. And I thought that was very interesting. If it were anywhere else.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday. That's how. That's it. But they're like, oh my God, we need to go. We're refugees. Let's go to the Ritz. We're refugees. Oh my God, how are we going to handle this? For God's sake, go to the Ritz. What do you mean they're working on the pool? That's not going to work.
Oh yeah, that's what she told you.
I feel like a Palestinian. So, LA is on fire. Some of the literally some of the most expensive real estate in LA got burned down. A friend of ours house has not gotten burned down.
But the backyard.
But the backyard was on fire, and they were putting that out. Fire department. We have friends in the fire department, and then someone whose house we just talked about said that the fire. So the fire department, they're usually like, "We got this." They're like, they're like this.
That.
I don't know. What the fuck?
We're out of trucks. Yeah, there's no water.
They said out of trucks, out of
We're
people.
in a drought.
Yeah. And by the way, just want to point out, climate change, there's no climate change. It's fake. We have wildfires in January, people.
That's
Because of the heat.
Yeah.
They cut the budget for the fire department, and they shifted those funds over to the LAPD.
Oh, Lordy.
Do we know that? That's true.
Where's our mayor? Where's Karen Bass?
I don't know, but you were yelling about her last night a lot.
She's the most inept, like Villagrosa, whatever the guy's last name was. He was inept. She's invisible. This woman has not shown up. Have you heard of anything since she got elected?
Any other projects?
Have you heard anything about Karen
I know.
Bass?
Yeah. Well, I heard that she got like $38 million from the federal government to address homelessness, and then I never heard another thing.
Yeah,
again.
and homelessness, they addressed it. They obviously bought them new tents because they're still set up on the street. So I am disappointed in our mayor. But let's talk about the okay. So that's the local crazy here in LA.
Okay. Also, last night we decided to go up our street to the top of the hill,
right, to
see if we can see the Palisades fire coming. And we get up there, and there's a fire truck up there.
Yep.
And right where you can pull into the fire break in the canyon, there's no houses, And then there's a dude in uniform standing there, and he comes over to the car, and he's our neighbor. He lives in that house at the top of our street, right by that canyon, and he's a fire captain.
Oh.
And so that was handy.
It's convenient. Okay.
Turns out, so he said that they were going to
He was running on fire.
they're going to go cut vegetation in front of his boss's house. And they had done his, so it helps to have a fire captain.
So that's
in
why
your neighborhood.
that's why some of the houses burned down. He's not so you're not in the fire captain. Hey, we get the trucks. What are they doing? Hey, they're cutting up Phil's house. We're clearing the brush he should have cleared, but.
Did you get him for Christmas? Just make sure you stop by.
No, but he said if we get evacuated, he would get in his truck, turn on the loudspeaker and the siren, and go through our neighborhood telling us. And we were like,
so then we went.
George.
So we went. So the sky was kind of orange, and we were in the backyard, and all hell was breaking loose. I mean, the pool is covered in leaves. Refugees, we're refugees. So. And then you look up in the hill and you see this giant, it's just the sky is red. And I go, Ray, I said, because I wasn't going to leave. I'm like, I've been through this before since '88. It's not going to be that bad. It sucks. And man, I said, Ray, we should get packed. So we got packed. Then we drove up to the hill.
He also told us it was expected to be in our canyon up to our neighborhood by morning by 7 a.m.
So we were like, we don't want to wake up.
Yeah,
on fire,
charred.
Yeah, Ray's kind of like
but then they didn't have an ocean view at the Ritz.
That's right. So we decided to tough it out. Yeah, we're going to stay with the homestead. Why? Because there's no king size. We suck, honestly. I hear us now, and at least we're making fun of us. So we go again. We kept going back and forth. Do we leave? Do we not leave? And we went to the top of the hill again and looked, and the fire truck was gone. George was gone, and we drove it. There was this road. This gate was open, so we drove through
the fire truck.
And she kept going. There's no sign you can't. That's how sketchy it was. There's no sign that you can't. So we drove about a quarter mile down the road, and you could see when you looked up this way, you could see way in the distance. You could see every once in a flicker of flame. It was red and flicker flame, and then down Palisades, you can see the glow from the sky. And so we stayed. I stayed up to about 3:30 watching TV. We went back
Watching
and
the
forth
news.
again.
Then
Watching the
I
news.
woke up at 6.
Yep.
Turned the news on again.
Woke me up, and I was like, no.
I woke him up to go look outside.
Yeah, and I went and looked around, and there was still smoke. But so far we've survived. A 0% contained is not the best news where we are. But
I survived being mansplained to multiple times.
Oh yeah, it's still
about
coming.
Fire and the direction that wind blows, which was awesome
Santa
because
Ana's.
then we went and met Captain George, and he was like, "Yeah, it's blowing this way. The wind is blowing
It's
this
not what
direction." And I was like, "Yes."
And the embers
He
are going to
did
float.
too. You know he did because then I made fun of you on the way down.
I
That was the highlight of my night.
yeah. I mansplained all night
You did.
because the little lady needs to learn.
It does. Listen. It does. Our instincts of protection get kicked on.
Oh
and
no, it
gets
wasn't
tur-
protection.
Yes, it was.
It turns into like
I know
mansplaining. It
everything.
does.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of you, darling.
We were not scared because we are in peak physical shape because of Fitbod. This episode brought to you by Fitbod, and we're
Yes.
going to need it. God knows. I will say Fitbod has changed not just like your body or how you look, but because you've been doing it a little over 2 years
yeah.
now,
2 years.
like faithfully.
Yep.
But
4 to 5 times a week.
your overall capabilities, like strength, competence, things like that.
I've noticed it like everyday stuff. Like I had to fix one of the tires on the hot rod because it was leaking out of the bead. I found out, so I had to take it. When I came back to put it on, like I used to have to sit down and get, and then I just went clink. And I went,
Oh, you just one-handed it.
there's obviously no kryptonite in the room because I just did that easily. Yes, everything has changed.
Everything has changed. And I think you sleep better.
Mm-hmm.
It just, when you're taking care of your body like this. So Fitbod, if you guys don't know
look
yet,
better.
it's
I
an
sex better.
app workout where it's tailored to you and what you want and need. Sometimes it will push you and you will yell from the workout room angrily at what it
Or
tells
make
you
just
to
noises that my niece mocks me for.
she does. He's doing the grunting again. She can't stand it. So you put in what equipment you have. It's completely tailored to you. So if you're scared, it's the new year. You have a resolution. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't know what you're doing. You don't like the way you look. You can do this at home. You don't have to have equipment. Your body is all the equipment you need. And he will tell you some of those body weight workouts are some of the toughest ones that he
By
does.
far.
They use personal trainers to develop these workouts. You can go watch videos if you don't know how to do or use the proper form. There's videos. There's one guy that you don't like. And they tailor it to your goals, to the fitness level that you currently are, and whatever you have equipment-wise.
His demonstrations are spazzy. That's all. But he's great. So let me just say real quick. I know I'm going to wrap this up. Fitbod has done something for me in 2 years. It's the journey. I was sore. It keeps doing things like sometimes I'll go, this is awful light this week for some reason. And then the next week, because I'm always afraid 4 days later, I'm like, it'll say max effort day. And I'm like, I hate max. And so it has changed the way I lift. It has changed the way I stand. And the journey's been
That's
fun.
what I
It's
mean,
been 2 years.
confidence. I mean, when I started working out, you notice that it then affects every area of your life.
Yep.
Even at your job, if you have an office job, it changes everything.
Yeah, you're ripping doors off. Hinges.
I'm talking about every day coming
mental,
up and down stairs.
fitness, yes,
Everything.
balance, everything. So it's cheaper also for the whole year than what you would pay for one session with a personal trainer. Level up your workout. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan and those guns.
I honestly love it.
You can get 25% off of your subscription, or you can just go try the app for free. And you can get it for free for 7 days if you go to fitbod.me/Titus. That's FITBOD.me/Titus. You do love it. I've never seen you stick with something like this.
Do you know what the key I'm finding with everything is? And you know, you see it all the time, but when you put it in action, consistency doing it. I started doing something yesterday, which is pretty cool.
It holds you accountable. It dings sometimes at you when you're not using it.
Yep.
Like,
hey, it's been 2 days. What are you doing? Hey, I don't want to be a dick, but listen. Me and the guys at Fitbod were talking, and you haven't done 2 days.
You need the mob guy to keep you on your New Year's resolution.
I would love if my app said, hey,
We got to talk.
Little
That would
problem.
be
Just a
awesome.
tiny problem.
Get in the car.
Yeah. It's 3 days since you worked out. I was going to give you 2. But 3,
I would use that app. I would love that, wouldn't you? Or a sassy Southern black lady.
It's called Fitbot. Hey!
I would use. There's certain personalities I would definitely use.
But consistency. So I started doing something yesterday, which I'd never done before. I have this list of stuff in my head that I want to do every day. I want to do a little bit of work on the hot rod. I want to write a certain amount. I want to do answer emails. I want to go over the calendar for the gigs this year. We have a business to run.
Yep.
So, and I just hit my timer. I went, all right, 30 minutes, 30 minutes writing. And I just for crazy wrote 30 minutes. That's when you called up when I was like, my timer was good. I sounded a little like I wanted to get to it. I was like, my timers were counting down. And then I set the next thing for half an hour on emails. And it's amazing how much more I got done.
Cool.
It was really cool. All I did was set my
Scheduling
timer
it.
on my phone.
Do you decide ahead of time how much, like, is it the same
I
every day?
I just made random things like probably today I'll put an hour for writing because I want to get this. I'm working on a script now and I want to get an hour done. But the good news was I really focused because there was this. It was Indiana Jones. There was a ball rolling at me, and I'm like, I gotta get this done.
But then you've allotted a certain amount of time and that allows you to focus on that one because you've got the rest scheduled. And because usually they all just fly through your head.
Yeah, and that guilt you feel when you have all the stuff you want to do and you get none of it done.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also gave myself 10 minutes to look at Dodge trucks. I gave myself 10 minutes to do that.
Okay,
and
nice.
I was like, and at 10 minutes I put it down, but I felt like, okay, I did it. Now I got to write. It was an interesting way. I'm going to start. That's going to be a new habit. I got to do it for 28 days to make it a habit. We got to talk about the new crazy. By the way, same as the old crazy, just so we know.
A little worse.
As I said in the Armageddon update, we have not had a worse president since the last fucking time this guy was president. I don't know if anybody saw what he said in a 41-minute speech the other day, but are you ready? Mm-hmm. So he didn't talk about eggs. He didn't talk about inflation. He didn't talk about stopping the war in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. He did not talk about the wall. He did not talk about immigration. He talked about invading Greenland.
So wait, he didn't talk about anything that he ran on.
No,
okay.
No. He talked about invading Greenland. Now, I was like, why would we be invading Greenland? And I went and looked up what the major export of Greenland is. It's fish and crustaceans. So we are going to have a war over salmon,
Which
as
he
I said.
would not know what a crustacean
right.
is.
Just make them spell it.
CRUSH.
So we've got that. And then he said, so he's thinking about, we need to take Greenland. We need to acquire it.
What is his?
We don't believe that. He said we don't believe that Denmark really has rights to it.
Dear
has the
Lord.
right to it. We don't know what they're basing
the Panama Canal too.
Yeah, we're going to get to that next. We don't know what they're basing it on, but we think Greenland would be a nice addition to America. And then he said the Panama Canal, which by the way, we built that in 1914. The Panama Canal was approved by Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt.
But also Denmark has had Greenland since the 1800s. It's not even a thing.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not in question.
If you just go, what's that thing when you own something for a long time? They're not squatting. They've had it for a minute.
Right.
They've had it for a minute. It's not like they zoomed in and went, "How you doing? We got the damn Greenland is ours now." I don't know. I sound like Gru.
I don't either. I thought you sounded like a Muppet. Oh, the Swedish Chef. That's what it was.
There you go.
Exactly. Denmark. Exactly. Nailed it.
Okay.
So
I want to know why. Somebody said something.
Yeah.
It was a thing last time, remember? He was going to buy Greenland. And they were like,
yes.
we're not for sale.
Yeah.
It's northeast of Canada, largely covered by the ice sheet. The largest island in the world only homes about 60,000 people. But its location between the U.S., Russia, and Europe make it strategic for both economic and defense purposes, especially as the melting sea ice has opened up new shipping routes through the Arctic.
He wants to build a base there, I'm guessing. But here's the thing. We're good. We're good. It's
exactly.
not like do we need
They're not an enemy. It's not like
we're also not using boats that go, we're not using, skiffs. We're not using, old sailing ships.
Yeah, exactly.
We can fly places. We don't need Greenland.
Help me understand, because he loves Russia. I very much admire Vladimir Putin. So why is he suddenly concerned?
He's
because
give it
he
to
said,
Russia.
we need, this is direct. we need Greenland for national security purposes. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You don't even need binoculars. You look outside. You have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen. China.
Again, we're back. I can't believe it. I felt like, fuck, we're back.
You don't even need binoculars. I can't see China.
Do you know what it feels like
right now?
You ever work a really hard year and you go, we're going to take a week vacation, and then that week vacation you get done with it and you're like, oh, that was horrible. I didn't even have a vacation.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like that with the presidencies?
Yes.
You're like, I didn't even get a vacation, and we had 4 years, and all Biden did was clean every fucking thing he fucked up, and now we're back.
By the way, he's not even president yet. He's already clusterfucking
We're in the opening credit.
God.
Okay, ready?
The Northwest Passage was first crossed in the winter months by a Russian commercial vessel several years ago because all that ice is melting. It is a shorter route linking East Asia's major ports to Europe and the Atlantic Ocean. Western powers have already voiced concern about Russia and China using it to boost their presence in the North Atlantic.
So do they think now? Well, here's the one thing: if Russia and China are saying we're going to take Greenland, that's weird. But here's the problem with that: is that they trade with Denmark, China, Russia, and us. So it's a world war. They do a lot of trade with them. So this is as I said in the Armageddon update, the doomsday clock is just click every time this guy gets near a microphone. Click.
Yeah.
So TikTok, and then we got the Panama Canal. He says we need to take the Panama Canal back. Yeah. And they asked him, one of the reporters said, would you use force to take the Panama? And he goes, if we have to.
He wouldn't rule that out.
He wouldn't rule it out. That's what he said. It wouldn't rule it out. I don't understand. I mean, what the fuck does not cover it?
So Greenland and Denmark have been growing tents in recent years. People are saying that he's exploiting that. Greenland also has oil, natural gas, and highly sought after mineral resources.
That's what it's for. That's what it is.
That's what I
Rare earth elements.
Mm-hmm. And alien bases.
If this stresses you out, this episode brought to you by CB Distillery, because it does stress me out. We're right back. I don't know if you have ever used CBD or not before, but it's really, really necessary in my life for sleep, to calm my stress and anxiety levels. What do you notice?
I just notice I feel better. As I operate at 9/10 pretty much all the time. I notice that when I have some CBD, I go down to 7/10, and I'm just a little bit like I'll take it, and then an hour later I'm like, oh, I don't feel like the world is crushing me into a small flat piece of paper.
That's why sometimes I put it in your smoothie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's not just sleep that you're addressing. I love that it's plant-based. They have plant-based solutions to help with stress, mood, focus, even pain after exercise. Everything is made with high quality, clean ingredients. We actually had some people several months ago. The woman's husband has chronic pain, and they've tried everything, and they didn't want him on painkillers anymore. And anyway, they tried this CB Distillery CBD oil and said it made a massive difference in his pain. Yeah. So my mom used CBD every day when she was sick, helped her with pain management from her cancer. So if you're still struggling with sleep, stress, or other health concerns, try something different. CBD from CB Distillery. We have a 20% discount to get you started. Visit cbdistillery.com. Use promo code Titus for 20% off. That's cbdistillery.com, code Titus. cbdistillery.com.
Works can confirm. Panama Canal. He wants to take the Panama Canal. So Panama Canal was basically set up so we could get goods and services. Not services, but we can get goods quicker and cheaper.
But isn't the arrangement, now we have to look up the whole fucking agreement.
I already did. So in 1997, we gave it back to them, and it was spread over 2 years. In 1999, they got full control. Panama got full control of it. Well, there's two Chinese ports there that the Chinese built. Chinese invested $5 billion because, and it's not because they're trying to take something over. China makes the most shit. So they need for us. They need the Panama Canal to work so we can get all the stuff that we buy from China. So they've also did a $5 billion expansion, and not Panama did, and they built it wider so they could put bigger container ships in it like that. So basically, the Panama Canal is this trade route. It's just this trade route. We gave it back to Panama, and Panama makes money off of it every year. And now, for some reason, Jimmy Carter gave it back to him. For some reason, it started in 77. Carter started in 77 to give it back to him. By 1999, they had full control over it. So we did it
Was
over.
there a backlash then that he did that, or did people not?
Carter
see?
was. I think Carter was this. Everyone should have their own sovereignty. I think Carter was such a good man. He was like, okay, they should. We built it. We used it. It started in 1914, so we used it for 65 years.
Yeah,
where we ran it.
Didn't we have like we still have like a lease? See, that's the legal part of it.
Yeah,
it's their land and their port, but we legally have legal rights to use it.
Yes, and we pay them every year. That's what he's bitching about too. He goes, I can't believe we're paying Panama for that. Hey, it's there. It's another country.
It's theirs. Yeah,
that's what he doesn't seem to get or care about, though.
No, but he never has. I mean, what he like vendors. I mean, he had 3,500 lawsuits because vendors would come in. They put curtains in all his hotel rooms, 1,000 hotel rooms, and he wouldn't pay them.
Yeah, it totally tracks.
And then he'd go, sue me, and they would. So he'd pay him a third of what they were owed,
and they couldn't afford
to fight.
So the Panama Canal is going to go bankrupt. Is what's going to happen.
This is what autocrats do. This is what I said to you today. This is what Putin did in Crimea, in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
This you can't just say we're taking that.
Right.
That's not how it works.
That's not how it works. That's why NATO is what NATO is. Yeah.
Right.
That's another thing too he lied about. By the way, we've already started. So 33,000 lies the first term. We've already started just this 41-minute. I haven't gone through it. I actually mentioned in the Armageddon update. I'm not done because this is just the first one. I watched it. There's so much in it. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. He said, Canada. He goes, we can get rid of that imaginary line. We would have such a big, beautiful country. Canada. He's just going to take Canada.
Isn't Canada and Greenland, aren't these NATO allies of ours?
Yes.
Right? So if something happens for national security, we all gather around and we defend it.
Right.
So it's already in practical terms.
Right. But he thinks that Canada should. So if we go Canada and Greenland, that puts this big, giant, beautiful country with Alaska. We're connected to Alaska. It's all one piece.
That's what Putin did.
Yes, exactly.
That's exactly it makes
Russian,
sense to him because he wants it because it'll make what he has better. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
Why doesn't he want to take Mexico?
First of all, I don't want to fight Canada because I don't want to get my ass kicked by that many polite hockey players.
I love how
hey, you should have came over here. Sorry,
this is a wipe thing. Canada has an imaginary line, but Mexico gotta have the biggest beautiful wall ever.
Yeah, that they never paid for.
He said CNN fact checked him. The thing that he did on Tuesday.
Yeah, I went through that this morning too. Go ahead, you can go.
He said rioters at the Capitol on January 6th, not one of them was armed with a gun.
One guy's actually in jail for carrying a gun.
Admittedly.
Yep.
Pled guilty.
Yep.
And let me tell you, the people that you're talking about have a lot of guns in their home and for shooting and for entertainment. A lot of good reasons. But there wasn't one gun found. He's not sure of the reasons.
I just love that you said this early on. She said that, she goes, watch him. He covers all the bases so he can't be called on anything.
Yeah.
He says almost everything you can, every option.
Carnival Barker.
He also said about January 6th. Again, he keeps talking about it. Okay, so if nothing happened January 6th, why did Eileen Cannon not want to release Jack Smith's report?
Mm-hmm.
If you're innocent, it would show in the report, wouldn't it?
Show it all. Yep.
Rachel had said something last night. She goes, she said, no, this morning you said it. If there was a deep state, how's he still walking around?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just proof there's no deep state because the deep state is always mentioned as being against Trump.
Right. Yeah.
But Trump got away with all those court cases.
And got reelected. So there's no deep state. People, there's no deep state. There never has been. It's bullshit. It always has been.
And everybody who has tried the assassination and this the Tesla truck guy, they're all MAGA.
Yes.
They're all Republican MAGA people.
Fake news.
Yep.
If this stress is making you sweat, then
What are
you
we
need to
doing with
try
ads
Mando.
today?
This episode brought to you by Mando. That's called a segue.
An amazing product.
I love Mando.
I just told her yesterday. I go right now. I got to the end of my stick, my daughter's stick, and I said, I need you to know this is now my favorite.
Yeah,
yes,
you did. Yeah. And I can't find the other one. You had another one and you couldn't find it and you were stressed. So Mando is a whole body deodorant. It is created by a doctor who saw that BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. And so she created this, and it's clinically proven to block odor all day and then control that odor for up to 72 hours. And solid deodorant stick is what you're talking about. There's also a spray deodorant that's aluminum free and good for hard to reach places because it... all products are baking soda free and paraben free. A bunch of different scents you can choose. Wyatt got the starter kit, right?
Who?
He has the, by the way, Wyatt
have you not
Wyatt
seen
is
him in a
14
long
or
time?
15 now, and he goes in his room. He's not sure he has a child.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of legally changing his
Separating.
name to Mando
He's-
because I don't know him. All I do is smell
Mando
him.
Hylind.
So-
Yeah.
That's good. Well,
Yeah.
maybe. As long as what you're smelling is good.
They're in the middle of a legal separation, as every teenager does with his father.
There's an imaginary lines between.
That you'd like to remove to make one big, beautiful family. He's 14.
14. Yeah.
And-
But he's tall, voice is deep, he's got a little mustache. It's over. Hairy
He
legs,
does? Oh.
Chewbacca. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
it's his hair is like.
I didn't
I'm
I didn't even see him that long ago, and he was a
Yep.
kid. He was
Yep.
still a little kid.
When
So he shot up.
Oh my God!
How tall is he?
Remember last time he was here? He was
Yeah.
messing around. He was this big.
Yeah.
Now he's almost as tall as I am.
Oh my
Yeah.
Oh,
gosh.
He's
no.
like, hey, Dad.
So what do you smell coming out
I
of
smell-
this area?
Mando, unless I have to yell at him to take his
Oh.
Mando.
Yeah.
Take
your
Mando.
Take him in.
Are you
There's some
making it?
wipes. There's a stick. You rub it on yourself, and you do it everywhere.
Yes, exactly.
Every piece of you.
I use it on the mop for his floor.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's in the air conditioning
Yep, I
vents.
pipe it in.
Pours it into his clothing.
So
When he's doing laundry?
Wyatt, around the time Wyatt turned 12, or the kid formerly known
Yes.
as, he was still speaking to and hanging out with his dad, and his dad gave him the Mando starter pack, and that came with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and then you could choose 2 free products to go with that: mini body wash, deodorant wipes, stuff like that. And he got free shipping. And the smell of your home drastically changed. I just remember you were like, oh my gosh. And having lived with a boy growing up,
No.
holy shit.
Yeah. Yikes.
As a special offer, new customers can get $5 off that starter pack with our code Titus. That equates to over 40% off of your starter pack if you use code Titus at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. And also support us by telling them when you get to the end of that purchase that we sent you, because then they know that people are listening to us. Smell fresher, stay drier, boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
Another product that we have that works.
Really works. Yep.
He also said that he was talking about trade with the EU. He said
Oh, he says he's going to put tariffs on.
they don't take our cars, they don't take our farm products, they don't take anything. European Union, we have a trade deficit of 350 billion. And then CNN just put, none of this is true.
None of this is true.
Okay,
I went to this. I went to the CNN article, Ray, and everything he said
looked
was
at
a
this?
flat out fucking lie.
Yes.
Totally.
Everything was a lie.
Not any of it.
He said that China. He said China is running the Panama Canal on both ends. No, they're not. Lie.
We've got the news. We have got to somebody has just got to stop him. Enough already.
What we do, but
Aid to Ukraine.
aid to Ukraine. He said he may stop aid to Ukraine. He goes, we're giving them so much money, more money than we're even
He
spending.
said way more than Europe.
Way more than Europe. Bullshit. So what here, I want you guys to know something. We're gonna go back to Scream Sanity. You need to tell everybody. You need to go down these lists and go no, lie, because the dumb fucks are gonna keep repeating it.
Yeah.
So CNN, which is now owned by a right-wing billionaire, fact-checked him and said it was all bullshit.
He said, so just so you know, when you're arguing with your friends, it's not true. Actually, and his quote was pretty funny about saying we gave way more to Ukraine than Europe did. He said, Europe is in for a tiny fraction of the money that we're in. Now, whether you like that situation or not, Europe is much more affected. We have a thing called the ocean in between us, right? Because national
And the
security
stupid is fucking started up.
National security is defined by how far away from the problem you are,
We have a little
and if
thing-
there's water.
We have a little thing called the water, and it's a wetness for water. Remember the shit he said? He's saying dumb shit again. Do you know where he
So
gets in
Europe
trouble?
committed and provided more aid to Ukraine than the U.S. has.
Yes,
So that was a flat out lie.
A little something called the ocean.
Oh dear
It's
God.
not a little something.
Exactly. It's not a little.
But, okay, but you know what he tries to do is he's one of the he's the worst kind of dentist. A stupid dentist is the worst kind of dentist.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the dentist that wants to sound smart, but can't. So what he does is he starts to work his way into something that sounds smart, and then he says the dumbest shit possible because he can't get out of it.
But he's also like trying to portray that he owns the information. Like he's like, they call it, or I call it, or whatever.
Or as I call
I'm
it.
in charge of the information.
Okay,
Or as I call it, migrant crime.
Migrant crime. That's a new thing we're saying now, migrant
No,
crime.
and then right after that he goes, or I call it Biden migrant crime.
That's a new thing. We're using that now as a label.
Or
migrant. Migrant. He said migrant one time. Maybe migrant. No, I don't think that's going to be it. Like, dude, don't riff while you're giving a speech. He also said he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Now, again, he hasn't talked about bringing prices down, bringing gas prices down, bringing inflation down, which inflation, by the way, stands at 2.7, which is historically average or a little bit lower than average. He has stopped talking about ending the Ukraine war on day one. He said day one. So in 12 days, guys, that Ukraine war is over. Russia has lost over 200,000 troops. The Ukrainians have lost about 43,000. On top of that, South Korea, they sent a bunch of troops in and they got annihilated. So we are in a place right now where I watched between the fires today, between Trump's speech and where we're headed. I had this feeling of like the doomsday clock was just getting closer. Like we're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, and all the power, the lights are out. And so people need to take turns at the stoplights. And it is the Wild West.
Yep.
People that
Some guy just went through them.
Mine too. And then a guy pulled out in front of me when I went on my turn. It was crazy. You'll just see people see it and just floor it. The 6-way stop right there, guy just floored it across it's just like
the whole
me.
Right at the corner, right here at the corner of Crackhead and Meth Head. They're just going right. Both lanes are going right through the light. Like nobody's like
This is probably a worse neighborhood to expect people to follow the rules.
So let's try to do some good with our little podcast, guys. The only way we're going to get through this, and it's again, we're in the opening credits. We're still 12 days from this man taking over, and he's already telling you that he's going to start a world war. He's basically, if he goes after Greenland, there's other countries that want that. China and Russia. That's a world war. If he pulls out of Ukraine and Europe has to go in to stop Putin, that's a world war. Everything this guy's doing is like the shittiest game of Risk played by a 2-year-old. On top of that, we've got he's going to rename the Gulf of Mexico, which has been named the Gulf of Mexico for 400 years. Fine. The Gulf of America. Good. Fix that. That's the problem. That's the problem that's been hanging over our heads in America. So what you need to do as society comes apart, and as we've seen, and it takes nothing. We had a fire yesterday, so a couple neighborhoods burned down, and all fucking hell is broken. And you know what happened? It got windy.
Yeah.
So it got windy, and we now have a mild.
Somebody lit a cigarette.
Yeah, we have mild anarchy in Los Angeles.
This is the thing that we've talked about for a long time, right? Like how we are becoming more and more isolated.
Right.
And you brought this up again the other night about what did you say it about? You said, streaming services. Yeah. You said this is yet another thing like social media that has separated us because used to there were 3 channels or whatever it was and everyone was talking about Dallas, the new episode or something.
Yeah, when the new shows came out in the summer, we were all talking about more comedies coming. This is coming. We had this collective thing that we all kind of watched and got together
did at the same time.
Right, but now even the John Wick movies, which were big, some people haven't seen. Like we don't even have a collective cultural connection anymore. So we're fucked.
And so that was my point: is that we're so isolated, so we're not in community anymore. Right. So when bad things like this happen, people aren't thinking, how can I work together to fix this with my neighbors or whatever? It's everyone is out for themselves. Yeah. That guy hauling ass through that 6-way intersection, that was about him not wanting to sit and wait. It's never thinking about what other people are going through, and it's kind of terrifying.
And we've also played to the primal mammalian brain, but these guys, Andrew Tates and Rogans and everybody are like, just fuck them, man. Yeah, man, be man up, dude. So fuck everybody. Well, no, that doesn't work. We've seen how fuck everybody works throughout history, and what is happening is a lot of people die. Yeah, a lot of things go horribly wrong. A lot of people lose everything, and together. So we watched last night. There was a hospital in Sylmar, right? It was a hospital in Sylmar, and all these old folks got brought out, and people we were going to go drive over and volunteer, but then we thought, well, when we saw a bunch of volunteers show up, we thought, okay, we're going to just make it worse.
The people
we've offered friends to stay at our house. Do me a favor, people. Do your best to help everybody else. Here's what it does. It spread that as fuck you spreads as a virus. What do you need? Spreads as a virus. Yeah. So do me a favor when you can, especially right now, because I'm telling you, the next 4 years are going to be unimaginable. The clown car of douchebags that this man is going to put in charge, it's going to be unimaginable. The stuff that America does. And the problem is, it's not just affecting us. Yeah. It's affecting the world. Yeah. We've got, he said, you know what he said today about Israel? He said,
I'm just reading all of it.
He goes, if they don't release those hostages, all hell's going to break loose in the Middle East. I want to go, hey man, get in line. All hell's been breaking loose in the Middle East for 1,200 years before Christ. But good, now that you're gonna make it a nightmare. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. He said when he was president, everything was good. We had no wars. We defeated ISIS. We had no wars.
Everything was good.
Now I'm going into a world burning with Russia, Ukraine, with Israel. As you know, we were in no wars. I just finished a couple. This is actually false. There were dozens of unresolved wars and armed conflicts. We were still deployed in combat missions in Afghanistan and Iraq. And then he did not withdraw those troops under his own presidency.
They were in Raqqa. They were in Raqqa.
Civil wars in Syria, Yemen, and Somalia continued, as did Ethiopia's region. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict was ongoing. I think it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah. Jesus was like, hey man, are we going to fix this?
Are we going to fix this
Palestine? There's a hole right there.
Conflicts between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, Israel and Syria, in Israel and Iran, Islamic insurgents in Africa's Sahel region, Mexico's drug wars, Ukraine and pro-Russian forces in Ukraine's Donbass region, blah, 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 blah.
And domestically, we had an uptick we should look at the stats. Under Trump, we had an uptick in violent crime.
Violent crime, yep.
Yes.
Across the board,
murders and
was
hate
it
crimes.
Migrant crime?
No, it wasn't. It was actually white supremacists.
I call it migrant. Everything is done by migrants and Biden. He did say, he keeps saying over and over that about migrants. They release them from their jails, their prisons, and their mental institutions and insane asylums. Because those
mental
are
institutions and insane asylums.
No, insane asylum is not something we say at all anymore. So but he says it like it's new.
So when people who promoted the man fact check his first big speech before he takes over, and they go, everything he said was a fucking lie. Yeah. You got to scream sanity, people. You got to tell people, hey.
So they asked him to back up his claim and reached out to his presidential campaign at the time to corroborate it, and they were unable to provide any evidence for this lie about mental health facilities.
Can't we do something? We need something.
Sorry, I'm sorry. The reality is, if you go back to why the mental health facilities are closed, it goes back to Ronald Reagan in the 80s. Ronald Reagan closed all the mental health facilities, and that's part of the reason we have a major homeless problem now. We had state-run mental health facilities. We don't anymore.
He could see the future. That was...
yes.
Well, I could see.
He lies about how many miles of wall were built and doesn't mention how most of those don't touch.
And it was replacement. I think he built like 33 miles, but 450 total, but it was all replaced. Yep. I don't understand. I don't understand. And as you can see in the Armageddon update, I don't understand how we're here again.
I don't either.
I have
a
theory.
Crazy.
It's like the fact that you talk about this isolationism thing and social media and, streaming services, and it's all separated us. We're all cocooned, but it's all creating this fear. Yeah. Everyone's got a little level of fear.
Definitely, yeah.
And then every time as human nature, when we are in fear, we start to look to the strong man. We start to look to, somebody
fear
who's
going to... other.
It's what Hitler did. Germany was going through a horrible economic time.
He did a bit about that.
Yeah, someone's doing a bit in their new show.
Brown person from over there.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was-
yeah. We, they, them. We should put we, they, them
that
up
was
again.
A great.
Oh, yeah.
Why do all of your Doomsday specials end up coming back around every 4
Yeah, they're
years?
just prophetic. I'm just a prophet. I'm just a prophet but I'm an asshole, so no one thinks I'm cool. Jesus wasn't an asshole. I am like Jesus, but I'm more of a prick about it.
This episode brought to you by HelloFresh. I was like, how could I segue Jesus? Asshole? Don't want to use asshole because they might not like that. HelloFresh, love this company. All three of us use
I
this
was just
company.
asking about.
And I know, but look, I had to,
We had Christmas.
love this company because number one reason, I don't have to leave my house for it. It comes to you delivered with ice packs, but because it takes the guesswork out of what the hell to have for dinner.
And everything's good.
And it's amazing.
Like I've never had a HelloFresh meal where I was
No,
like,
not once.
Yeah,
and you can choose your own, but if you don't, they will choose the meals that you get in your box. And I have never, ever been disappointed. It's such a thing that the three of us will send each other pictures when we make something to show off.
Hey, did you eat this one? Did you? We've done that before. We all got the same thing. We're like, did you eat the Kobe burgers yet? Did you?
I didn't plate mine beautifully, but it still looks good.
You didn't, but also you eat all 4 portions.
Yeah, and I fit them all
by
on
yourself.
one.
Yes.
He's pretty feral.
He
the way
is,
he
yeah.
lives.
They now have new ready-made meals to go from the fridge to your fork in just 3 minutes. That sounds insane.
Right.
We have to get some of those. Same high quality ingredients, restaurant worthy flavor, can confirm in all of their stuff. They also have prep and bake meals that come together with minimal mess and only 5 minutes of prep. They have 15-minute meals that are 3 steps. I do love the 3-step ones because you always think, no way. And then you do it and it's like a restaurant worthy craft burger.
You know, like, I'm making this forever.
I do. I keep the recipe cards and remake stuff forever.
Yeah, and you can do it, and then you can do it your way too. And she's such a great cook, though. She mixes stuff too. So you'll take the recipes and add something.
I
She'll
do.
take something away. Yeah, you tweak it.
Also, you don't have to go to the grocery store, which you guys know that I love. They also now have over 100 add-on items that you can add to your box, like quick breakfast, packable snacks, beverages. We love the egg bites. I also love, they have pretzel bites that are just awesome to throw in the oven really fast. And the dumplings. Have you guys tried those?
Yes, they're
I
so
love
good.
those.
Yeah.
And they took like 2 minutes to make.
And the egg bites were legit. The egg bites were, they weren't some weenie. They were legit.
Yeah, I only had like 4 and I was full.
Again.
So I just ate both boxes. So that now that they've got all these add-on items and easy prep stuff, it's sort of simplified your entire dining life. So highly recommend that you go to HelloFresh.com. You can go get up to 10 free meals and a free high protein item, like what you were talking about, for life at HelloFresh.com/Titus10FM. That's one item per box with your app. Holy crap. We were up until almost 4 a.m. That's one item per box with active subscription. Free meals get applied at as a discount on your first box. New subscribers only, and it'll vary by whatever plan you're on. We're on the 3 times a week for 4 people because I like to have leftovers.
Right,
Ken has no leftovers. That would equate to up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/TitusFM.
For free meals. So FM is one of the hard thing to remember. So free meal.
Free meal. I didn't even get that. Thank you.
Guys,
America's #1 meal kit.
I want to thank you. I want you guys to know we are going to be on the road. Mic Drop Comedy this weekend, Friday and Saturday, 4 shows.
He actually just texted and said, do you guys want me to find someone else to get in here so you can deal with all that there? Are you okay? And I was like,
no, he sold a bunch of tickets, right? We're doing well.
Yeah, but then Casey's awesome. But then he said, or can I get you a hotel room down here so that you can get, we're going to do that anyway. We love this
we're
club.
Going to be Mic Drop. People, they're opening another one in Texas too. Go to it. So basically the idea for the club is it's all fairy tale themed.
Mm-hmm.
It is, but dark fairy, like grim, like not happy. It's
my
like
favorite kind.
Dark. And there's a picture of her on the wall, weirdly enough, in this one.
It's not
in San
me.
Diego.
Alice
it
in
is
Wonderland
exactly
is the
you.
theme here. And then
I have a picture of it that I'm like, That's I took a picture of it because it's
like
Rachel.
evil Little Mermaid type.
No, she's like
little.
got the big lips.
That's the only part I'm offended by.
Yeah.
Little. Do you mean skinny? If
So we'll be there,
that's
and then
fine.
guys, next week I'm going to be at in New York City at City Winery in New York City, and then we're going to be at the Wilbur Theater in Boston.
Yep.
New show, Doomed to Repeat. I know Boston. Let me tell you something. I was there a year ago doing Carrying Monsters. I was brilliant. I've got an entirely new show, and this one I found out, Boston, is basically. I found out my family helped settle the Massachusetts colony. So some of the reason you people are how you are is because of the Tituses.
Hey, that totally makes sense.
That attitude. People are, it's funny. When I went to the genealogy, and I looked it up when I was doing this show, writing the show. Because people ask me my whole life, are you from California, really? Because you seem like you're from the East Coast.
Yeah.
Genetically, I'm from the East Coast.
That makes sense now because even your Wikipedia page forever said you were from
Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think people just hear you talk. It was somewhere over there.
Yeah, yeah.
And you always have to tell people, no, I've been in California my whole life.
There needs to be a statue now. You put a statue up in for the Titus.
Look, if in Philly they can put up a fake statue of Rocky, they can put up a statue of me.
What would the statue be holding to honor
no
the
microphone.
Tituses?
It would have a lav. It'd be a statue with a lav mic.
No, I mean the Tituses.
Oh, what would it be holding? My God.
Based on what you've learned.
A big bottle of port. Probably, and then he would have like a very slutty looking person arm around, like, hey, like a
possibly a native woman.
Possibly a native woman. That would be.
But there we go.
And my grandfather, can I be honest? So with my genealogy, I am the whitest person ever, and I was told for many years that my grandfather was part Cherokee or something. Nope, liar.
I've never seen a whiter ancestry DNA.
It's the craziest thing.
Result.
It starts to go invisible.
One of the jokes in the new show, just to give you a sample, they sent me after I got my genetic results back. They also sent me a handicap parking pass in case I go to a dance club.
Hey,
that's how I. Yeah, you didn't think there was any vein of gold left in that, and I still chipped it out.
That's
Guys,
right.
thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Do me a favor. Go to ChristopherTitus.com. All the dates are listed. I want you to go right now.
Comedy Works coming up.
Comedy Works coming up in Denver. I also want you to go get my new special, Carry Monsters. I want you to know I'm never going to release it free. I gave you guys 9 free. This 10th one is Carry Monsters. It's at ChristopherTitus.com and support us. And it's an hour and 40 minutes of I think some of my best.
Yep.
Yeah. It's by
already
far.
getting standing ovations, and he's
With the
still
new one.
writing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Doomed is good.
Great.
And I'm gonna
Carrying Monsters is my favorite special you've ever done.
the journey is pretty incredible. And Ken and I wrote a song and performed a
Yeah,
song.
you did.
In the credits,
It's very good.
we wrote a song called Belly of the Beast. I wrote a song and did the chords, and I was like, okay, can I tell him this? I go, I don't think I should sing it. And he goes, oh no, you can't sing it. Flat out told me, no.
Immediately.
He just said no.
Yeah, no, you're not singing it.
So I gave
It's
it to
a
him.
really great song.
And he did the song. Go to ChristopherTitus.com, click through, go to Vimeo, buy the special, and thanks for the support, guys. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go? All right,
fact.
Ray's got to go pick up an errant relative. Oh, wait, fun fact.
My niece and baby got to go get.
Fun facts. It's time for Hylind fun.
Fun facts.
You can smell emotions. They did a test.
Especially if you don't use Mando.
Dogs can.
Yes. A study conducted in 2012 collected sweat from male participants as they watched fear or disgust-inducing movies. When women participants were asked to do a visual task while exposed to the sweat samples, the emotion that a scientist monitored their facial expressions and discovered that women matched the emotion that originally elicited the samples.
How did they get the group that sweat during watching a movie? I don't want to. You're just a weird dude.
How'd they get the woman to come in and smell it?
Yeah. By the way, here's what I do. You only smell old guys sweat who are sweating in movies. Yeah, no thanks. I'm good.
no,
I'm not even in that group. Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
guys.
For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray, and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
Look at anyone.
Go save the baby.